Alright folks, this is an Esee Izula, and it's had a few modifications to it. These are the factory, I believe they're factory micarta scales. And this is a pancake neck sheath a buddy of mine put together for me. That makes it pretty handy. I really like this blade, and I don't EDC it on my person, but it rides in my EDC bag and has pretty much every day for probably about 2 years. It's been stripped, and if you want to strip any of these coated 1095 blades or high carbon steel blades, you can go to Walmart and get a can of aviation strip, spray it down and let it sit for about 20-30 minutes, and the stuff scrapes right off with like a plastic knife. So it's quite easy to do, but once that happens, depending upon where you live, it can be quite susceptible to rusting. I've had a lot of rust issues with this blade, and so one of the things I did is I forced a patina on it. It's pretty scratched up and beat up. I use it a lot. And I used mustard to do it, and it's starting to wear off, and I just keep reapplying the patina, and what happens is you get layers and ghosting effects. This will probably be about the 10th time that I've done it, but it really needs it bad, and I don't know how well you can see it in here, but you can see some remnants of it. So we'll go ahead and get set up, and then we'll go ahead and start. So what it is, I put down a paper plate just so I don't make a big mess, and then I put down underneath the knife, on top of the paper plate, is a paper towel, because we're going to use, let's see, here we go. We're just going to use, I got a deal on this, 40% more. French's all natural classic yellow mustard, and just a light little bit. And what can happen is that the mustard can start to separate, and it'll run off, and it'll pull, and that'll make a big stain on the opposite side of the blade. So it's a good idea to go ahead and put the paper towel down. And then you can do whatever kind of pattern, I mean tiger stripes, or I kind of just zigzag it around and get like a, what I would call like a jungle camo print. But we'll see how the mustard comes out of the container and what happens. You can do a solid patina if you want. What's interesting is that the blade gets darker where the mustard isn't. Where the mustard is, it kind of eats down to the blade itself. So let me get myself a little space here, and we're going to go ahead and get started. And if I don't like the way that turns out, it's pretty easy to strip off. Just spray it down with some WD or Scotch-Brite, and it'll go ahead and it'll come right off. Now I'm going to stop the camera, and I'm going to let this sit for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to, I'll let it go for 10, and then we're going to come back and we're going to take a look at it and see what it looks like. All right? All right, we actually ran over. It's been about 15 minutes. We're close to it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean this knife up, and then we're going to take a look and see how it turned out. This mustard smells terrible. I don't know why, but for some reason, you see it's coming out pretty good. For some reason, when you do this, it must just create some kind of reaction with the metal, and it just smells just god-awful. So, there you go. That's side one. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do side two in a second. Okay, let's go ahead and get this mustard flowing. Alright, we'll come back and check in about 10 minutes. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes or so, let's go ahead and we'll get this thing cleaned up and see what she looks like. It's just so messy. Alright folks, so you can see that it's still oily. Let me get one more wipe on that. Like I mentioned earlier, you can still see some ghosting from other stains that I've done on that, but it doesn't look too bad. It's come out pretty good. It does stain the bevel or the edge, and I'll just run that across the stones real quick and then strop it up and it should be fine. But there you go. Nice, quick, easy way to customize or modify your knife. Thanks.